Wherever the American soldier serves today, wherever he may have to fight for our American way of life, now or in the uncertain future, under whatever conditions he may have to fight, the Army Medical Service is alert to his welfare. The American soldier may have to face the hazards of battle in an Arctic or subarctic climate, where speedy evacuation of the wounded is an absolute necessity, where loss of body heat can be as deadly as loss of blood. He may have to fight again in the prostrating heat of fever-ridden tropical jungles. He may have to serve in some of the Earth's great subtropical cities, where epidemics take a heavy toll of human lives year after year. The Army Medical Service is on guard against the threat of disease wherever it is found. It is the great scourge of armies and knows no national barriers. At the Medical Service Research Center in Washington, scientists obtain data on outbreaks from all parts of the world. They maintain a constant quest for effective countermeasures. Recently, they tested the effectiveness of chloromycetin, a new antibiotic. It was found to be a remedy not only for typhus, but also for typhoid fever, and is valuable in the treatment of virus pneumonia and Rocky Mountain fever. The new antibiotic now is saving lives in Korea. Our doctors in Korea and Japan encountered an epidemic type of sleeping sickness. Our research scientists isolated the virus, identified a mosquito as the carrier, and developed a vaccine that is proving effective. This type of research and development on cures and preventions against disease is carried on throughout the world. As a result, the Army Medical Service has been able to control any major outbreak of disease among our troops in Korea. Although among Korean civilians, typhoid fever and dysentery are common, although malaria is prevalent and smallpox and other virulent diseases are endemic, disease rate among our troops has remained extremely low. To protect our troops, the Army Medical Service has inoculated large segments of the Korean population. It has sprayed whole cities with DDT to eradicate the insects, flies, mosquitoes, lice, fleas, that are the common disease carriers. It has inoculated our troops against disease for which it had vaccines and serums. It has guarded against contamination of the soldiers' food and water. In Puerto Rico, scientists gathered data on tropical diseases. In Germany, on epidemic jaundice. In remote Madagascar, our scientists are working with the French on bubonic plague. The Army's Medical Research Center in Washington directs this far-flung battle against disease. Here, men have pioneered in the conquest of the Earth's unseen killers in measures to prevent infection, in the development of the life-saving vaccines and serums, of antibiotics like penicillin, streptomycin, and chloromycetin, of other drugs like primaquine, the new cure for malaria, that have helped to reduce the death rate from disease in the U.S. Army to barely 1 in 2,000 each year. In other research projects, the Army Medical Service has developed new surgical techniques and devices. At Fort Knox, Kentucky, laboratory tests are being made in an effort to overcome the hazards of climate. Medical research workers are learning what a soldier's body needs to survive and function in extreme cold or in extreme heat. The Army Medical Service is at work on measures to protect the American soldier against the hazards of an atomic war. Since its beginning in 1775, the Army Medical Service has constantly raised standards of health and medical care among American troops. The Army Medical Service pioneered the development of the modern cubicle plan hospital. It brought fresh air into it. It devised ways to purify our drinking water, to guard against food contamination. It introduced techniques for the control of insects and other disease carriers. It pioneered in the knowledge of countless contagious diseases. The medical service, a recognized body of trained technicians, from the company aid man in the field to the research scientist in the laboratory, is dedicated to the welfare of the American soldier.
That's your Army Medical Corps, an indispensable part of our fighting team. Next week on The Big Picture, we'll show you how the Army is concerned with the soldier's spiritual welfare as well as his physical welfare. We'd like to tell you about our chaplains. This is Captain Carl Zimmerman, inviting you to be with us then.